What's up guys, in today's video I'm going to share with you guys 3 airdrops on Bitcoin that you don't want to miss. 2 I've already mentioned, but one that is a newer one. If you guys were alert on Twitter and checking around, you would see today that the MAV token was airdrop. If you guys followed the airdrop video that we did like 2 weeks ago and you provided liquidity on MAV protocol, and this was on ZK Sync, this potentially allows you to be eligible for a couple of protocols on ZK Sync if they do airdrop a token, the ZK Sync token, and if you played around with MAV protocol like we did in the video, you should have some MAV tokens to be able to go claim. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can check out that website, but it's governance.mav.xyz/claim. Just connect the wallet that you used and to see if you qualified. If you want to see the exact qualifications, if you got it or you didn't get it and why you didn't get it, well, you can take a look into the criteria. I'll leave a link in the description below as well on this. But on average, you would have gotten about $3,000 to $10,000 depending on how much of that allocation that you got and where you were providing liquidity and how long you were doing it and how large of the size you used. So most of you guys already know about the first one, or if you didn't, there is one called Ordinals wallet. Ordinals wallet is basically the OG in the space for a lot of these Ordinals, and this is one of the marketplaces that came about to allow people to trade. But I'm just going to show you guys a set of tweets, and then I'll explain TLDR on how you guys can potentially qualify for this. So many of you are starting to recognize this fact: your loyalty and vision will be rewarded. Keyword rewarded, obviously. Brightness will prevail. Then they had another tweet that they made back in May. It says, seems like a airdrop is in order. Now, they're hinting at an airdrop, and they've already told people that they are going to be rewarded. And on top of this, if you guys look in the past, they rewarded early users just simply making a transaction on there with a Pixel Pepe. At its peak, these things traded at 0.4 Bitcoin. How much is that worth? Well, 0.4 Bitcoin, just simply calculated out, and it's a little over $10,000. So that was literally just a free airdrop, and all you had to do was use the marketplace. Just buy an ordinal, sell an ordinal, just mess around with it. As you can see here, you can actually trade BRC20s now, but originally you can only swap and trade these NFTs. Probably one of the qualifications is simply just buying a couple of ordinals, or actually buying 1, 2, whatever, playing around with some of these BRC20s, as well as playing the bitmap game. So the bitmap game is with Ordinals wallet, but simply how this is done is simply just minting one of these little bitmaps. Now, most of these have minted out. I don't know, maybe all of them are actually minted out by now. But just scroll down and you can even slide across and take a look. Just look for some empty slots like this. Obviously, the lower the number, the better. But the TLDR on how bitmap game works is that if you have one of these little squares, it basically represents ownership of that block. So Bitcoin has multiple different blocks. And if you look here, there is a Bitcoin block about every 10 minutes. But if you take a look and see there's a block number, so 796,313, 312, 311, 310, what these numbers represent is on the bitmap game. So you can simply buy one of these. You can look for ones that have significant meaning, like, hey, this is the first block for ordinals, or you can simply just play around and draw in here. I did a little bit of both, but this was, I don't know, like a week ago when it first came out. We mentioned it in Discord and we're chatting about it, but there's still a couple of them left if you guys are wanting to mint some of them. And that could be a qualification, and it costs like literally $1 to do this. Now the second one is Unisat. Unisat is the biggest competitor to Ordinals wallet currently on Bitcoin, DeFi, and like Ordinals and BRC20s. And as you can see here, they have a USAT token. This is a BRC20 that has been fully minted out. And in majority, there is literally one holder that holds like all of the tokens. And like number 2, number 3, 4, and 5, and a couple of others, they hold like one token. Don't know why that is, but TLDR is like 99.99999% of the supply is in this one wallet. And I wouldn't put it across them to give an airdrop to some of the early users. If you check out your wallet and you go to the Unisat points, you basically get a point every time you inscribe something. So right now this wallet that I have is 193 Unisat points. You can come over here, inscribe some .sat names, some BRC20s. You can even trade on their marketplace. I would recommend doing a little bit of each of these different things. That way it will qualify you for the potential airdrop. So you can simply just play around and use these. Now, the third one that actually has an ongoing airdrop right now is BRC20 chain. There are a couple of things that you guys need to do on this. They actually gave a Medium article to explain what needs done, but basically we already missed out on the airdrop for using the faucet, so you can no longer use the faucet. The airdrop is for bridging tokens for the first time. This one is currently going on, so you can actually get some tokens bridged into your wallet, or at least when you bridge over, you get some of these faucet tokens. Simply, all you have to do is go to the BRC20 bridge and you bridge some funds over. I'll walk through a couple of the steps so you guys can do this yourself, but you can connect over from Bitcoin or you can do this over from Binance Chain. We're just going to do this from Binance Chain because it's super cheap, and why not? Let's just do 0.5 BNB. So while we're waiting on that to bridge, just wanted to give you some other information. You can bridge over from Ethereum and you can bridge over from Bitcoin. So if you want to do those as well. But again, this is a ongoing airdrop that they have right now. And simply if you take a look, Unisat BRC20 traders, users who actively traded on Uniswap before May 23rd will earn points based on their trading volume. So currently there is no airdrop to claim right now, but this will get you some points for the airdrop they will have in the future. And the airdrop is going to be 200 million BRC20 tokens. And at the time of recording, these are trading at $1.20. It's like $240 million. And again, this is 20% of the tokens that they're going to be giving out. A couple of ways you can get this. First, like I mentioned, the Unisat. Second is providing liquidity on BRC20 swap. Trading on BRC20 swap, going into Discord, getting one of the OG roles, token bridger. So if you bridge your tokens over, you'll get some points based on that. And here's some different allocations based on this. And if you actually go to the BRC20 dashboard, you can see here, 19.8% is going to be given out. The other 0.2 is faucet and the people who use the bridge. And basically, if you are doing some of these transactions, doing some volume, this will qualify you some more to get an airdrop. As you can see here, this is the Bitcoin wallet I have on Uniswap. Nice. So it looks like I'm getting a $2,000 airdrop. And that was just for using Unisat. So again, this is how you get additional points. If you're using Unisat in these other protocols and projects, just like if you were using and doing the airdrop guide that I gave you guys, you would have gotten the Maverick airdrop just randomly. Like you use Maverick, you could potentially get the ZK Sync airdrop, and I don't know, any other protocols that give a airdrop. Just use these different protocols and use these different dApps, especially when they come out with a guide that says, hey, look, you should use this and play around with it so you can get an airdrop. Just something to keep in mind. So our transaction was completed. Yeah, we got our half BNB, whatever. So now what we're going to do is connect our wallet and make a swap and provide some liquidity and just mess around a bit. Oh, and by the way, as you connect your MetaMask, it'll be like, hey, you can switch the network to BRC20 chain, and it will automatically connect to your MetaMask and add the chains for you, so you don't need to do all those steps. So we got a couple of BRC20 tokens just for making the bridge, but now we're going to swap some of our BNB to some of the BRC20. Just so we can have some gas and play around on here, or at least some more gas. But first, before I do that, I want to take a look at some of the pools to see which ones I want to deposit into and see which ones have a higher airdrop allocation. As you can see, the BNB USDT is pretty high. There isn't a ton of TVL in here, so be careful of the slippage. And also keep in mind, since there's not a lot of TVL, what that means is like you can get a larger allocation, and also don't bridge over a bunch of funds. This is still speculation, even though they do have this airdrop claim. This is just one of those things, just play around with a couple, little bit here and there, stack up some points, withdraw, send it out, and see what happens. So I'm probably going to do the liquidity for the wrap BRC BTC. So simply what I'm going to do is get some of this wrap BRC and swap from BR or BNB. So I'm probably going to do 0.1 of this or 0.1. All right, so I got my BRC20 or wrap BRC. I got my gas and I also got some BTC. So I'm just going to go ahead and max add this. Actually, it's not going to do max. It's going to say I need. All right, so I'm going to approve my wrapped BRC token and my wrapped Bitcoin token. All right, so right now I'm just approving both of the tokens so I can get these deposited. You can do more, you can do less. I'm just using an example. I may actually just do a couple of the different pools. Reason being is just diversify and go through these different pools. And also keep in mind when you are depositing into here, the swap fees you are going to be earning from that, and you're also going to be earning the quote-unquote airdrop allocation. So just be careful with impermanent loss and some of these LPs with some of these more volatile tokens. That's why I'm selecting something like Bitcoin and wrap BRC. Yes, wrap BRC is going to be a bit more volatile, but it's at least the chain token, and I don't know. Let's see what happens, and looking forward to getting a potential airdrop for it. These are some random steps that I found in the Medium article on Twitter. So these are just different things you guys can do in order to get into this airdrop. Also, this is the Twitter page for BRC Chain. They're also followed by BitGod, which I thought was kind of interesting. BitGod is one of the OGs in the Bitcoin space, or at least Ordinal space. But the different things that I'm showing you in today's video were just from a Medium article found on Twitter, just going through different Discords and whatnot. So we added our liquidity for the BRC and BTC, and as you can see here, this is all of our liquidity. Let's see if we can go ahead and farm with this, because we have different farms. So we have Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Yeah, and basically we're just going to go ahead and stake this in the farm, and we're going to earn some of this BRC20 token. So you simply just approve and then you deposit. Make sure you deposit into the farm if you are wanting to earn some of this BRC. As you can see here, the daily rewards that is received for this pool is 0.27 wrap BRC, or at least what I'll get based on what I'm depositing into here. So if you deposit more, you can earn more wrap BRC. If you get less, well, then whatever. Keep in mind when you're depositing, or I'm depositing into a pool with wrap BRC20 exposure, I understand this is a pool 2 token, or at least for this in this case. And the reason why it's a pool 2 is that the rewards are the same as the token that I have deposited. So it is going to receive some impermanent loss or impermanent gain depending on how the price action goes. That's also why I mentioned about diversifying amongst multiple pools and potentially ones that are not going to be as degen. Now, after depositing some tokens into the pools, make sure you guys do a couple of swaps, do it on random days, drive some volume in order to get some more qualifications in it. I would say to make some more trades on Unisat for the BRC20 airdrop, but the snapshot was already taken. However, using a couple of interactions, inscribing, and even making purchases on Unisat could be a qualification for getting a airdrop in the future. Next is they have a NFT mint. You can do this, simply just mint one of these. And of course, I'll drop all the links in the description below so you guys can check all of these out. But these are just some different steps you guys can use to increase the qualifications. So let's go ahead and hit confirm, and we are getting a NFT. And then when you are simply done with the chain and done using it, or if you want to withdraw some funds off of here, you can actually use the bridge. You can go back to Bitcoin, you can go to Ethereum, you can go to Binance Chain, just choose the network. And really it takes like 5 to 10 minutes. It's actually pretty quick. Sometimes it's even shorter than that. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. In the comments in the description below, tell me what you guys thought of this video and what else you would like to see on the channel. If you guys want to jump in the premium Discord, there's a link in the description below. It is the Patreon link. And of course, for all the other stuff I showed in this video, there will be links in the description below so you guys can check it out. Proverbs chapter 11 verses 10. When the righteous prosper, the city rejoices. When the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. Be good, be righteous. Peace. Now, one thing to keep in mind with BRC20 chain is it's not as proven as Unisat and Ordinals wallet, and it hasn't been around as long. As you can see here, they joined May 2023. So this is technically the early days of it. It still needs to prove itself. So me personally, what I would recommend doing is pooling like a tiny amount, more so making a bunch of these swaps, bridging in and bridging back out, and then just basically counting up those brownie points. So like the more transactions, the more volume you get, the more of the allocation you'll get. So the more you use, the larger allocation you'll get. Just something to keep in mind. You want to kind of look at this token like a yield farm, but like just for a chain. The reason I say that is when you're getting these rewards, it is paying you in the wrapped BRC token right here. So basically this is the token of the chain, and yet that's what it's paying against. So don't look at it something like, I'm going to hodl these bags forever. If you are playing this farm game and you're yield farming in here, preferably look for a pool like this and understand the risk that you're taking on, because you're bridging onto a chain that is, it's not as proven as the other ones. So if you want to farm and mess around on this, you can deposit into some of the pools, make some transaction volume, get in, get out, and get some of those airdrop points.